It's another morning for story time. I love my Sundays and sharing stories with you. Did you all have a good week? I hope you did. Well, you know what it's time for before we start telling stories. It's time for High Five. There we go. Thank you, guys. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's a secret. That Uncle Dave, myself, and Charlie and Robin, we decided to hide away this weekend and take a bit of a rest from all the busyness of school. Can you see where we might be hiding? That's it. Can you see? We're at the sea. It's been so wonderful to have a rest. It's kind of like Jesus. He sometimes needed to rest as well, and he went to hide in a house to have a bit of rest. But, as always, the people knew where he was, and they wanted to hear all that he had to teach them. So today, we're going to hear about a woman who decided to go and find him and have a conversation and have a chat with Jesus. So let's go and hear some more.
Matthew 15, verses 21 to 28. Then Jesus went out from there and departed to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came from that region and cried out to him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely demon-possessed. But he answered her not a word, and his disciples came and urged him, saying, Send her away, for she cries out after us. But he answered and said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. And she said, Yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered and said to her, O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that.
Did you enjoy that story? Oh, I did. Did you notice that it was about a mom who was so worried about her daughter? I'm sure that when you get sick or something happens to you, your mom also gets very worried. So this woman, she knew that there was something she could do to help her daughter. She knew she could go to Jesus. So I hope that we can learn from the story that when there's something wrong with us or there's something wrong with a friend, that we can also go to Jesus. All right, Jesus was living in this area or was visiting this area where this woman lived. And she was so worried about her daughter that she ran to Jesus because she knew that Jesus could heal her daughter. Her daughter had something very horrible inside her heart, and it made her very sad. So she goes to find Jesus, and Jesus is busy visiting in a house. And when she finds him, she says to him, Lord, Son of David, please have mercy on me. Please save my daughter. But did you notice in the story that Jesus first ignored her? What? Jesus ignored her? And then he said this, let's go and visit the Bible. And I want to read this verse to you. He says to her, it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to their dogs. What does that mean? And that doesn't sound very nice, does it? Does that sound like the Jesus that we know? Well, Jesus said these things very purposely so that he could teach the woman and his disciples that with him a lesson. Here, he was trying to teach his disciples that he did not only come for the Jews, for his chosen people to save them, but that he also came for the Gentiles and anybody else in the world that really needed to be saved. Jesus came to save everybody's hearts, not just the Jews. He came to save your heart and your mommy's heart and your daddy's heart and your friend's heart. So here, Jesus was trying to teach his disciples that he did not come just to give bread. Did you notice that it says it is not right to take the children's bread? The children were the Israelites, and he did not come to give them the bread or to teach them that he was the bread of life. Jesus did not come just for the Jews, but he was trying to tell her that he came also for the Gentiles. So let's read in verse 27. It says, "Yes, Lord," she said, "but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." She's saying, "Jesus, I know that you believe. I will give you anything that you give me." Jesus loved the fact that the woman had such faith that she would take anything that Jesus said or anything that Jesus could do for her. And so you know what? Jesus saw that her heart had so much faith that she was not going to give up, that she was going to ask and ask and ask for Jesus to help her. And so Jesus said, "Woman, because of your faith, your daughter is healed." Isn't that amazing? Praise the Lord. So here, the disciples learned that Jesus didn't only come to save the Jews and decide to save the disciples, but that here he was actually also coming to save the Gentiles, like this Canaanite woman who was not a Jew. And we also learn here that because she had so much faith, that Jesus loved all the faith that she had, and so he saved her daughter. So I want to ask about you. Do you have faith like this woman? Do you have faith to keep coming to Jesus and not giving up? Do you keep praying and praying and believing in Jesus and not giving up? Do you believe that Jesus can really answer all your prayers? And do you really believe that Jesus can touch your heart and that Jesus can save you? I hope so. So will you remember that this week? Will you remember that Jesus did not only come for the Jews and for the chosen people, but that he actually also came for you and for me and for your friend? So I've got a challenge for you this week. The same way this woman was very persistent, she didn't give up in having faith for her daughter. I want to ask you, will you not give up? Will you pray and have faith that Jesus will save maybe one of your friends at school, or maybe your mom or your dad that doesn't know about Jesus, or your sister or your brother? Will you pray for somebody that does not believe in Jesus? Let's do that, because I know if we have faith, Jesus says that he will answer our prayers. If it is his will, if he knows what is best, he says we must have faith and he will answer our prayers according to his will. Right, will you do that? Okay. All right, guys, you know what it's time for? It's time for craft time. Let's get going. Welcome to craft time, everybody. So today I thought in our craft time we'd make some frogs. What? Frogs? What does that have to do with our story today? Well, I was thinking, what could we do to help us remember to always trust in God, to always rely on him? And then I saw this. This is a little frog. And the reason I made a frog is because I want us to remember this. Can you read it? It says frog, frog. And the f is for the word fully. The r is for the word rely. And the a is for the word on. And the g is for God. So our frog that we're going to make today is going to help us to remember to fully rely on God. Will you do that? Like the lady in the story, she fully relied on God. She fully trusted and had faith in God that he would heal her daughter. And so I want us to remember that we can always go and fully rely and trust in God and have faith in him all the time. All right. So I found a toilet roll. This is what you need, a toilet roll. And then I took some paper and I cut out some eyes and I stuck them on. And then I got some paper and I cut out some legs. So I'm going to stick the other leg on for us now. Do you see mine has got a little bit of a spring? Because what do frogs do? They hop, they spring. So I thought we better put some spring into our frog's legs too, hey? All right. So you're going to cut a strip like this and you can color it in like I did. And then what you do is you fold a little bit at the top like that forward, and then a little bit on the back, and then a little bit forward, and then a little bit on the back. Can you do that? It's like making a fan. Have you ever made a fan before? It's the same thing. You fold forward and backwards, forward and backwards, forward and backwards. There we go. Forwards and backwards. And then when you open up, look, it's got a bit of a spring in his legs. We definitely need frogs that can spring, hey? And then I take some glue, okay, and I'm just going to glue the little front part of my leg. There we go, right at the top. You can use some glue right at the top. There we go. And then I'm going to stick him on the inside next to my other leg like that. There we go. Okay, so now I've got Freddy Frog who's ready to spring into faith action. He's going to spring into trusting God, into having faith with God. Will you remember that? One last thing. I have a memory verse for us today, and it comes from Jeremiah 17, verse 7. So if you look on your screen, I'm going to put it up on the screen. And it says this: Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is in the Lord. So blessed is the man who trusts in God. Will you do that? Will you remember that verse? So when we start to doubt and not have much trust in God, we must remember that God will bless us. He says, blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord. Okay, and that God will always hear our prayers and answer them according to His will. He knows what's best for us. Right, it's time to get up and dance. Come on, guys.
You are the one true God. There will never be another. You are the faithful God. Forever we will praise your name. You are the one true God. There will never be another. You are the faithful